Hello and welcome to this live Thursday game. We're doing the World War I Battle of Belleau Wood. And I am here with Colonel Neville of the 5th Marines, currently located within the St. Martin Woods to the northwest of Lucy-les-Bocages. You guys have been on the lines for a few days now. You passed some retreating French as you came up. And you know the Germans are out there somewhere, though the lines have been quiet the past few days. What are your orders?
So, am I co-located with the 6th, or do I have to send a dispatch to him?
Dispatch. You can co-locate. Right now you're not.
Yeah. I want to go ahead and co-locate with him. Is that going to cost a turn, though, or is that going to be this turn that we're able to do that?
That'll cost a turn.
Hmm. Okay.
Okay.
So, our plan was the 6th, they're going to go ahead and move to the northeast, to the trenches directly to our northeast towards Torcy and Voila. I'm going to follow in about 100 meters behind. As we move up, I'd like to co-locate with him probably as the turn goes on.
Okay.
If that makes any sense.
So if he's moving, you're going up behind him.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
That was our first turn plan. Yep.
All right, Colonel Catlin. Your 6 Marines are on the line in the midst of the St. Martin Woods.
Mm-hmm.
You got the 5th Marines on your left and the 9th Infantry on your right. It's been pretty quiet since you arrived. You passed some retreating French as you march through the city of Lucy-les-Bocages. And it's now, what day is it? 5th of, June 6th,
Yeah, 6.
1918. What are your orders?
My orders are to attack north towards Torcy and Valois and have all my battalions in the front line.
Okay. All right, I got it. Thank you.
Okay.
Where's my...
So the artillery was going to be hitting like over here, but I'm guessing that as the attack happens, they would hit the infantry instead as they were attacking. But that is quite the combined infantry attack we have going on.
It is.
Um,
I don't know. Would the artillery
what's
know
this?
that like there's an attack going on and to change their where they're shooting at? Probably. Well, at least within a 6-hour period, they probably would. So the 460th is attacking south, and so is the 193rd.
Yeah, so the 193rd was going to be focusing on like Champollion though,
Oh.
and like over here. So I don't know if they would join in this attack here. Maybe when they saw just how many like units are coming up, but
Yeah,
I don't know. That's getting a lot more into like Umpire.
I think they would like
Is it else?
stop and hit their flank.
Mhm.
All right, so here's what
Would the 273rd help as well?
yeah, what's the range? Yeah. So let's see. So let's think this through. So 460th is ordered to go south. They're starting to go through the clearing. All they see, suddenly see 3
Marines in the woods.
coming out of the woods. I think they'd be retreating as they fire,
Mhm.
retaking position here, and then the Marines are now getting hit by artillery and shot from both sides.
2 artillery guns.
2 artillery. Oops, I did not mean to do that.
Bundy had the U.S. artillery hitting each of these 3 trenches.
Okay, so that'll hit the 460th.
Also, the engineers are going to be building up protected emplacements for the artillery to help protect them from counter battery fire.
Did you grab orders for all the German commanders that turn?
Did you need me to?
I can go back and get them for Conta, and I put a message in chat that I had to restart my router real quick. Let me go and get that from Bischoff and Conta.
Oh yeah, go get it.
All right, sounds good.
All right, so
I didn't know you were offline until I returned to the Empire channel.
all right, so the defender, so 193rd. We'll do that first. Okay, -3 and pushed back. So that's that, and then oh wow. Oh, and I should be adding for the artillery. We should just make it higher.
Wait, so is the 193rd attacking all of these at once?
No, sorry, I'm rolling 193rd against kind of this first one, and then them against the middle, and then them against this one, which are all super high rolls. So
And so they don't get to make a successful attack at all.
I'm gonna do a little attack against 460th because they were caught in the open to begin with, so -1 remaining place. I think those results are pretty realistic.
Oh, maybe the 5th would be able to attack the 193rd here, though.
Those 2 no impact. Okay, so I'm gonna have them fall back into the woods. I think that's a realistic start. We'll do smoke for getting shot up all along the line, and then artillery fire. We'll do this. So the 5th Marines didn't get chewed up, but basically were forced back by the retreat of the 6th Marines.
And just like that, the Americans have lost their big advantage in west, at least for this attack.
Yeah, okay.
Yikes.
Now these guys are going south to Champollion, right?
Do you have any of these fires that don't have the smoke because it kind of blocks the unit for the screenshots? Unless I'm directly over it and zoomed in.
Well, if you're coming down top down, that shouldn't block it. If you don't do it at an angle.
Okay.
But I mean, here's some more fires. I like the smoky fire though.
Fair enough. I'll just do it from top down then.
Yeah. All right. What about the 193rd? How far are they supposed to be going?
They're again attacking Champollion and the trenches over here.
Okay, so they got held up.
But the 1st battalion here, I would say, yeah, they stopped here to help in the fighting. I didn't know how far you would want them to move.
Let's see. Would they?
You had said that, just put them in the direction they're moving when we're taking orders.
Yeah, I'm just thinking. Would they? I mean, there's nothing resisting them because they left their left flank. So, but maybe.
Yeah, I could say they make it all the way to Champollion.
Let's have one get pulled back to support first, and then one makes it all the way here. Which will give them plenty of.
Yikes.
Within a day, already some of the American trenches are captured.
The Germans win.
Oh, and he wanted his HQ to be following along with the attack here, so maybe he would be here to keep track of his men, or even over here, just so he could keep all of them in sight.
Yeah.
I've got tracer markers that I made for my one game. I don't know if those would show up as good as the smoke or not, but
Feel free to put them in. We'll look at them.
I'll mix them in.
I can't see the German guy through all this smoke on me.
Oh, those are interesting. Well, if you can't see him, they can't see him either. I kind of like that. Alright.
How far for Scratch Skin? You said like 5.
Half a mile. So you'll probably, describe a lot of sounds and reports more than what they can see.
Said half a mile just now.
From the HQ.
Yeah, from the HQ.
So that's just like 5 grids.
Slock, did you get all your orders?
Yeah, they were holding in the 461st is holding in position, just garrisoning houses in Bourgeois. And this battalion was supposed to advance with the 460th, but that obviously didn't happen. And the 3rd Battalion moves down here south in the Belleau Woods. So nothing much on that side of the map right now.
Did someone get? Oh, wait, did Upton just show up? Okay, Upton's here now. So did Malone order Upton to advance?
No.
Okay, we'll just catch.
He had all of them sitting still.
Okay, I'm here.
All right, Prozan, you have. I'm gonna give you Upton and Bundy.
Upton and Bundy. I'm booting up Tabletop Simulator right now.
So Jaco, you'll just have Malone for a little while.
All right.
Upton, Bundy.
All right, go ahead and take screenshots. We'll start the next turn.
Yep, I got him.
Let's see. We got... So it is now June 6th.
And this is just June
afternoon.
6th afternoon.
Yeah.
Okay. So the Germans all have 2s on them. Does that mean they've been under artillery fire?
Oh no, they just start more tired than the Americans do from being in the war longer.
Yeah, they've been fighting
Gotcha.
a long time, so they're lower morale.
Oh, Chinleaf, can you make sure like when you're sending dispatches, it's only after they already have the new time thing.
Do you need a color, Prozan? There's probably not enough hands. Hands!
Yeah, only let me pick spectator.
Here. Alright, there's a brown color and an orange color. And a pink.
Change color.
All sorts of colors.
Alright, got it. How long are we doing the screenshots for? Or like
About
what's
half a
the
mile.
size?
If they're in the woods, they're not very much in the woods at all, but... Can I take off your name? You got your people now?
Yeah, I wrote it down. Upton and Bundy.
So Jaco, I would, in future screenshots, I wouldn't even go so far along the line. I know it matches what I did, but I don't
Malone's
I'd go like
doing nothing.
Yeah, I'd go half a mile out. So just he'd only see like the 1 battalion unless he moves.
How much is half a mile in the grid measurement?
5 grids.
5 grids.
Alright, I'm gonna go get orders. Alright, gentlemen. So the 6th Marines exit the trenches, move through the woods, and prepare their assault across the clearing towards Torcy and Belleau. the 5th Marines behind him in reserve. You leave the woods and start charging not even a half a mile towards the German position. And as you do, you actually see the Germans are leaving their trenches and moving towards you, but upon the sight of you, they start firing and then retreating back to their defensive positions. As you enter the middle of the clearing, you come under heavy artillery fire, while also getting shot at from the Germans to the north, and then new fire from Germans from the west and east, from the woods in both those directions. The 6th Marines are essentially just getting chewed up. The men drop to the ground. Officers try to urge them forward, but there's nothing for it, and so after a few hours of just getting absolutely pelted, you retreat to the woods. The 5th Marines aren't able to push past them, so they fall back as well. So not a great start, but an eye-opening welcome to the war for the Marines.
Plan
Do
B?
we have artillery still? Is that like, is artillery still firing on their trenches to the north? Are we aware of that?
Yeah, so
Are we able to
you
see
can
that?
hear your guns firing, and it definitely was hitting the trenches, the German trenches, as you were assaulting as well.
Okay. Let's shift the attack to the northwest around this barrage. Have the 6th Marines go to the northwest. I will fall behind them, and we'll try attacking the trenches through that direction if the artillery's still falling on their trenches. Calvin, what is your thoughts?
I mean, are we still not keeping any reserves here? I mean, all three of my battalions are like they've gotten hit.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we could keep a couple of reserves back. We just don't know what enemy strength are we facing at the moment. So have 4 battalions, move towards the northwest, shift directions.
All right, let's try that. So let's take the 6th. Let's do your 3 battalions. I'll send a battalion with you to fall in as a reserve. I'll keep my 2 in the wood line under cover. And we'll go towards the northwest. See if we can get away from that fire coming from our east. Around the barrage and push that direction. See if we can push through there.
Okay.
So you're sending.
Is that good with you, Caitlin? You agree with that?
Yeah.
So
Let's go with that.
Cool.
Which battalion are you sending from the 5th?
So the 6th, the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd will shift towards the northwest around that barrage area. I will send my 1st battalion as a reserve in behind them to help them support the attack. The 2nd and 3rd will stay here in the wood line under cover. I'll stay collocated with these guys. I'd like to maybe move to the edge of the tree line so I can see a little bit better, but obviously I don't want to be under heavy fire myself. I want to be able to see if I can. Does it make sense at all, James?
Mm-hmm. I got it. Thank you.
Cool.
How far are the battalions moving, James?
Well, they're attacking northwest, so they're running into these 2, essentially.
What about if they're not engaged? Because they're moving this one up here from Belleau along the road.
Yeah, the 9th is just moving forward as well.
So they're, I mean, theoretically.
Very interesting turn. The Germans are going to be making contact with the American artillery already.
Yikes.
So I mean, they can go pretty far. It's just until they get engaged. So
these
Would they just
Germans-
overrun the artillery?
yeah,
There's nothing here except the supply and the artillery.
I think that's overrun.
Yeah. And there's no HQ element back there either. So those Germans are going to engage.
So I would, I would let the HQ know, because they'd get word that I think that Champollion was taken. Did anyone let HQ know that?
Bundy?
Yeah, Bundy.
No, I told him where his artillery was landing and and what he could see around him, but I didn't. What was I supposed to report to
So
him?
tell him that there are French locals fleeing Champollion, saying it was captured by a German battalion.
Or you want me to do that now?
Yeah, do that now so he can send
Okay.
at least send a dispatch about it.
I am on. Okay.
That way the artillery being taken is not an entire surprise.
So, he wanted his artillery to hit at the red X's, but again, I think that I don't know why would he keep trying to hit like the trenches when he knows that there are a bunch of Americans in the field here.
I don't know, but if that's what he ordered, we're gonna do it this time. We'll won't be as nice.
Okay.
He just took out the enemy artillery, so we gotta throw the Americans a bone. And then where are the Americans? Well, I guess their artillery's not shooting. Okay, so they're attacking this way against these two battalions with these three. And are these guys attacking, like moving into the woods?
So this.
Oh, also, yeah. The Germans are not.
That one was stationary. This one was moving in a flank attack to here, but I imagine they see the infantry crossing no man's land.
Oh man, I feel bad for who's this over here? I can't read the.
Bundy?
Who's the 461?
So with the information that I just gave him, he told he kept the engineers back to provide security for the artillery, and switched one of the artillery bombardments to Champollion itself.
All right, so we'll at least roll for that. Engineers aren't gonna do much, but we'll give them a chance. All right, so these guys.
What they're fighting with the wrenches?
Yeah. No, I mean they got guns, right? Aren't they supposed to be?
Yeah, they would have rifles.
Yeah. Engineers are actually pretty well armed. They're just not that many of them.
Carbines.
-2 pushed back.
Well, no carbines in World War One, so.
Oh, they're counted as carbines.
I don't know if the Americans had a Dragoon model of the Springfield.
I'm just like drawing pink X's where the artillery is going.
If I had to guess, they'd probably be armed with Krags.
Why is that not working?
Are you using scripted dice?
Yeah. I don't know.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure that wasn't a glitch on my end because it's got like editing tiles on them.
Stop touching my dice.
I was trying to roll it so it seemed like it wasn't rolling.
Well, it rolls, but I'm trying to change the number on it, and it won't.
Oh.
That's really weird. Normally, I don't have that issue. Okay. So the 6th Marine 1st Battalion got pushed back. The other two are holding position, kind of. I don't know. I guess they got a toehold at the edge of the woods in this clearing here. These guys are holding for now. Okay, now this charge -1 remain in place. They're getting shot at. That's they got pushed back. And then they're getting shot. It's basically -4 for the woods, so 4 becomes nothing. Nothing, okay. And then the 273rd here, they're just trying to do a flank attack.
Yeah, they were flanking. They were trying to. They're just. No, they're holding. This one sees the charge and holds position. This one's just supporting fire on the flank of the Marines.
All right, we'll give them. The engineers are fighting desperately. We'll give them a chance to do something before the artillery's overrun. All right. I think we're done.
Have you rolled for these 9th Infantry? Okay,
They
okay,
did.
yeah. I see
So
the
they're
fire.
staying in place. They didn't dislodge the enemy, but they're holding their ground, I guess, as far as they got.
Okay.
I think that's it. I'm gonna get rid of the what's this pink X?
That was just artillery.
It's for the Allied artillery. Yeah.
Oh, they're hitting the enemy artillery. Did they just get
Yeah,
lucky on that shot, or did they say?
Yeah, he sent me a screenshot of where he wanted the artillery to go, and that was one of them.
Wow.
Oh,
I will say that Ludendorff, he had said that he wanted to spend time the last turn, like building up the defenses for the artillery, in case they got hit by enemy artillery.
Oh, that wasn't the U.S.
I don't know how
saying
effective
that.
that'll be, but
That was.
with his engineers.
I just thought that was the U.S. that you said that for. Well, let's make a roll of it. What's the chances of artillery taking out artillery if they target it perfectly?
I mean, it's not
Pretty
perfect. It's just like the general area that the artillery
Oh,
also
yeah,
was in.
bombardment. All right, let's say at least one of them's temporarily out of commission. Let them know. Okay. Full first.
And I don't give them any feedback for like artillery hits, right? Unless they get a report from someone else.
Right. Yeah, it needs to be
Wait, I should.
relayed from
Yeah,
the
yeah,
front, so there's a
yeah, yeah. Exactly.
big delay in that. Okay. So it's now evening, so they get a night turn. Mostly they should be. I mean, they can keep fighting at night. They can fall back and move. They should be resting. But we'll see.
So June 6th, 1918 night, right?
Yeah, that's it.
And so we're able to give them like information that they're given by the like the infantry under their command, even if they can't see it. Like for
Correct.
example, for Ludendorff, I could tell them that like, oh, the 460th says that the Americans are pulling back from the trench.
Correct. Yeah, anything that their commands would, because this is a 6-hour turn, they're gonna get some kind of reports usually.
Mhm.
All right.
So it's evening now.
Evening or night. Oops. I forgot to write that.
Okay. Have I been orienting myself right? Is this north?
North is up. Yeah.
Okay.
are you good?
Yeah. Go ahead and do screenshots and get orders.
All right.
All right.
It should.
Who's the dispatch umpire? Did you ever catch Malone's?
MDWTK is, and he should be catching them all.
All right.
As long as they're pinging them. I should be like letting them know it's nighttime and kind of implying that they could rest or reposition if they want to,
Yeah.
but they also can continue fighting. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, gentlemen. You move to the northwest woods. Some good news, albeit limited. The enemy artillery sweeps to behind your position, hitting the trenches where you were, but not where you are. So at least that's not going against you. The 6th Marines, already pretty beat up from the morning's fight, again charged to the northwest. They meet resistance again in the woods, although 2nd and 3rd Battalion do manage to gain a toehold within the edge of the woods by the end of the night. The 1st Battalion sent back with heavy casualties. It's dark now. Lots of artillery fire behind you. The 5th Marine, 2nd and 3rd Battalion report hearing lots of fighting to the east. but not much more than that.
Okay.
What are your orders?
Yeah, Neville. I suggest
What's
you employ that 1st Battalion of 5th Marine and flank the 2 battalions to the north of us, while my 2 battalions pin those down. My 3rd battalion is too beat up to, effective for this sort of work.
So I'll collocate with my fifth. So the first, second, and third.
But
We'll
by the way,
shift to the left.
It is night, so
Sure.
normally
You can keep.
would sleep. I mean, you can keep attacking. I'm not telling
Okay.
you no, but they do need to sleep at some point.
Okay. I think you can, Neville, you can shift that 1st battalion slightly towards the west so that in the morning they're in position to flank the enemy. And they get some sleep as well. I mean, they don't have to reposition all night.
Is that what you're doing?
Yeah, let's go and shift the 1st Battalion of 5th Marine to the left.
Okay.
2nd, 3rd Battalion will get some rest. I'll move my HQ to behind 2nd Battalion of the 6th, kind of that wood line over there.
Okay.
See what I can see.
Are you staying with them, Catlin?
Sort of. I mean, just west of 5th Marine 2nd Battalion.
Yeah. You want to stay with me so we can have easy communication?
Yeah.
Let's
Just
do that. Let's do that.
be co-located.
Okay.
Cool. Let's do it.
Oh, now Lewis is here with you. All right.
Hey, Lewis.
Good luck.
Are you?
So the 461st decided to send out scouts for any movement.
Ooh. All right.
Are they making a night attack?
They are.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Well.
I think they should be able to make it all the way up here. I don't know about these two since they've got. Actually, no. I don't know about any of them since they've got scouts out.
Yeah, if there's scouts out, they're gonna know about that, and they're gonna catch them in no man's land.
Don't think it would go well.
Yikes.
So 3rd Battalion makes it into the woods. 23rd makes it close and then retreats, and then 23rd is bogged down in this group of woods. We'll say unable to push forward.
Keep the HQ generally there.
Yeah. And then that makes sense.
Okay.
And then all of the 273rd was to hold.
Okay. Are these guys
But
still
the
attacking?
491st.
He wants them. He wants them to resist if they are attacked, but otherwise he says he just wants to like dig foxholes and entrench over the night.
Men are gonna love that. so they're holding but attacking the 23rd, 73rd.
These ones are all just holding positions against any enemy attack.
We'll just say it's kind of light skirmishing through the night, and then
Yeah,
these guys.
yeah. The ninth sorters were just in dig foxholes and only fight if they were fired upon.
We'll say they didn't.
So I
get
guess
much
they all just don't fire much.
Yeah, they're not gonna get much sleep though.
In the west here, the 193rd, these two are just holding until they receive news from the 3rd Battalion that they've taken the artillery and they want to withdraw northwards from the trenches. In the south, he wants the 3rd to capture the artillery and then entrench at that position.
Yeah, I kind of didn't move them like all the way because I didn't know how you wanted to treat this. But this 1st Battalion, 9th Infantry is rushing to like defend the artillery.
Let's see. We'll make a roll of it. That's a 4 and a 9. But they were coming from there, right? And they were already there, so I'm gonna.
Yeah, I would say like if this one, gets it through the engineers, they would at least capture the 1st artillery before they get attacked by the 9th.
Yeah.
Oh, they're also shooting like point blank artillery barrages, 2 of them.
I don't even think the guns would really be able to do that. I think they're within inside their arc of fire at less than a quarter mile.
We'll give partial victory. So they took out one group of guns before the 9th came and chased them off. Back to Champollion.
Sounds good.
And they'll be spending the night in Champollion, I guess.
Yeah, we'll do that.
It's going to be on fire too.
Yeah, they'll probably try and loot whatever American supplies left behind they can.
And the 193rd.
Although there's much to take from an Allied trench. Have you seen how like sparse they were compared to the German trenches?
That is true.
And then these guys are falling back to the trench, is what they wanted.
Yeah. And one of the artillery barrages was just on this trench line right here.
Okay, we'll keep that.
Oh yeah, artillery doesn't like do direct damage though. It's just like it's a stacking bonus the long view bomb somewhere for like all your rolls in that area.
Alright, I think that's a good night turn. Did I miss anything?
These guys probably aren't.
Oh wait, also Ludendorff, he wants to send out like trench raiders to like map out the kind of this part of the trenches, see what's over there. I don't know if they would make it past the Americans here, or they would just say, "Oh, the new trench line is forwards."
I don't think they've. I mean, he's got a map of the trench line. I don't know what more he wants. I don't think they'd get that.
I think he wants to see, like, I guess who was there.
Oh. Well, where would?
Wait, so if everyone is like entrenching, can you like? I think it'd be kind of cool to have like the evolving like trench lines showing each layer as they entrench each night.
Well, for those that are doing entrenching, plus the engineers aren't doing work. Are the German engineers doing anything?
He thought they would be able to make it all the way to the 461st to ask them if they wanted anything, but that's like even here I feel a little bad because this is like 7 grids.
Oh, it's only 2 miles. They can so he wants to send them there to help him.
Yeah, entrench. He wanted to like come over here to look for the 273rd like HQ.
Oh.
And yeah, the engineers are just asking if they want entrenchments anywhere.
Okay.
Like he's coming down to this HQ to say, "Do you want entrenchments?"
Okay, I'll let you manage that. All right. So now it's the next day. I'll take Lewis, who just showed up.
June 7th, 1918 morning.
Yeah, June 7th morning. Lewis is over the.
And should I incorporate the 1st Battalion of the 9th in his screenshot, or just like give him like verbal reports of their goings on because he's outside of half a mile?
Just a verbal report.
Gotcha.
And then, do we want to co-locate any of these German commanders up here?
If they're That's who?
Ludendorff,
I mean, they don't look like they're next
Bischoff,
to each
and
other, so unless they're like right with each other, then no.
okay.
We want to make the command and control difficult.
Understood.
Is someone getting Upton's orders?
Who?
Upton? Oh,
Yeah, I've been doing Upton.
oh, that's right. I gave you. Okay, just making sure.
Yeah, Upton and Bundy.
Perfect.
Alright.
Getting my orders. All right, gentlemen. The night is, at least in your vicinity, quiet. Actually, the 2nd and 3rd Battalion of 6th Marines aren't harassed that much by the Germans. You do hear sounds of fighting to your south, and further to the east. Throughout
So
the night.
sounds of fighting. I'm sorry. Go ahead. You're good.
So no, to the south and east, southeast through the night. But in your vicinity, it's actually pretty quiet. The most of your battalions are able to at least get a few hours rest.
Are we able? Because this time period is fairly new to me. Are we able to send like a scouts out to our front, or skirmishers, or what would be the era appropriate version of that?
Yeah, you can scout towards your front, try and get a report back, do some recon.
I just got a dispatch from Bundy. Germans broke into our rear and threatening our artillery. Push best you can, diverting 9th to support the guns. So we'll keep pushing the best we can. Yeah.
That is
All right.
some dispatch. Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
What's
Yeah.
what?
Sorry. Go ahead.
No, you're good, man. What you feel about sending some scouts ahead to see? Because that hopefully, I mean, if our artillery is still in one piece by the end of this, we get some support. I mean, we'll see. How do you feel about sending some scouts out ahead to see the situation in front of us? See if we continue the attack.
I think we're pretty clear. We had 2 battalions in front of us, and there was one in the trenches. So that's one regiment that we're facing in the north. Yeah, as far as scouts go, we could send it. I could get one of my battalions, bit north, have scouts see where they are. But I think the main push comes from the 1st Battalion, 5th Marine, right? They're the ones that will strike the flank. So might as well engage the 2 battalions, and then you hit them with a left hook. Hopefully that should deal some good damage to them.
I could have the 2nd Battalion with my 1st to support that, and then have the 1st kind of flank to the left here as we go forward.
I think the 2nd Battalion could come into the place of 1st Battalion, 6th Marine. Might as well throw in that one as well into the flank attack, because it's nearer. Yeah, your battalions are going to take like a little while to arrive at these locations where we are. So might as well attack with 2 from the left. One of my own, one yours.
Let's go with that. So we'll have scouts up front, and we'll have the 2nd and the 1st try to do that flank attack up here, directly to the northwest. Sound about right, Caitlin?
Yeah, let's go with that.
So the 2nd's coming behind first, or the 2nd's attacking from the right?
So let's have the 1st attack.
Sorry, the 2nd
Yeah,
Battalion.
yeah. No, you're good. Yeah, go ahead.
The second
If we have
battalion.
the first going, yeah. If we have the first go left, second go directly to their front. I'll have the second battalion come in from the 5th Marines come in as kind of like a reserve behind that.
Yeah.
First battalion 5th, second battalion 6th go in for the attack through that wood line directly to our northwest or to your directly to your front.
Okay.
Second battalion.
Let's go with
Does that make sense?
these two. The first battalions, the two of them. They go directly northwest. They hopefully don't engage the enemy just yet. They'll get in the afternoon. The other two, they try to scout and if they spot the enemy, engage them, right? Keep their attention. And one of your battalions from the 5th comes and replaces one of mine here in the reserve. We should have one.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that's about it.
Okay. Does that make sense, James?
No.
Okay, in easier words, 2nd and 3rd Battalion, 6th Marine, they scout and engage if possible.
Okay.
5th Marine, 1st Battalion, 6th Marine, 1st Battalion, go northwest. Hopefully don't engage the enemy. 5th Marine, 2nd Battalion comes as a reserve just next to us where our HQs are.
Okay. Good enough. Lewis, you staying here or where are you going?
Lewis, you gotta see the action down
Technically,
southeast.
you don't command
I'm staying with them.
You command the infantry, but I guess if you want to pretend to be a Marine, you can.
Honorary Marine.
Well, they're in our rear apparently, so I'm not trying to get nabbed up because I don't know where I'm going.
Yeah, you gotta go. You gotta go defend artillery yourself.
Uh,
All right.
Commander instead.
Yep, they would follow Ludendorff.
And they're going with the 460th across no man's land here.
So who's attacking whom?
So
The
1st Battalion here isn't attacking, it's just trying to like make contact again and defend if the Americans attack. The 2nd Battalion is trying to move down to Champollion to help support the 3rd Battalion here. I just didn't know how far you would want them to get. Because I mean, like realistically, they could cross into Champollion unmolested, but I don't know if they would be. And he's moving with them.
Some arrive at the end of the turn, and then they're getting attacked by 1st Battalion.
Yeah, 1st Battalion's trying to take Champollion from the.
Where's the artillery shooting now? The two batteries they have left.
Well, there's one right here over at on this trench line, and then he put up one way over here.
And the Germans.
The rest of 9th are just like exchanging fire with the Germans that they're like across from, but otherwise they're just being on the defensive.
And the Germans there are just digging in and doing the same thing, just light skirmishing. But this battalion here is ordered to attack the 3rd Battalion.
Okay.
These 2 battalions are attacking southwards, so I don't know how far they would get. The 398th already went like about a little more than 2/3 of a mile from Belleau, but the 460th has like its entire turn of movement ahead of it. So he's like this then.
And where are the German guns shooting?
He forgot to say. Let me go back and ask that actually real quick.
Okay. And the 23rd, 3rd Battalion, did they come out of the woods? Are they?
Yeah. Malone's got them all retreating back to the artillery lines, trench
So
lines.
just falling back to this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do that then. All right, let me start rolling.
I don't think he's had a single good artillery bombardment since the first term when we kind of helped him.
Yeah, I think the 9th Infantry is just trying to protect the 5th Marines flank, which they are doing by kind of locking down these regiments. But they're very defensive oriented right now.
I think it's funny just how like quickly both sides abandon trenches that try and attack. Like the commanders didn't get that memo, so they just keep shooting into the trenches.
Yeah, eventually they're gonna learn. Maybe.
Yeah, the Americans have had a couple of good artillery barrages, but they definitely think the Germans are mostly still in their trenches. What as the commander does.
Alright, these guys are getting pushed back. And are these ones, they're not fighting, they're just watching each other?
They're,
Yeah, I mean, they're doing
yeah,
light skirmishing, but the Germans are digging in, so they'll probably take another.
yeah. I mean, the ninth, he said that they are defending themselves if they are attacked, and that they will like shoot at the Germans if they expose themselves, but otherwise they're just staying there.
Alright. Oh, we gotta roll for Champignon.
Yeah.
Let's see, so they're in defending from a town. Set
Fortified one at that with the trench line.
Fortified.
I don't know what happened with the trenches there.
6. Just becomes
Were the trenches destroyed?
no, that's where. No,
Mm.
I think that's all there was. But the town's.
Because remember that there were trenches here originally.
Yeah,
I've not seen them. It's been a gap for a hot minute for me.
Yeah, same here.
I might be
I
crazy.
know there were ones on the side, but I don't think there were any
there weren't any
like right above it.
Yeah. Oops. I like these little tracers. Pew, pew, pew.
Yeah, they're good.
Okay. Maybe we should give the artillery just to denote that it's shooting. Little artillery markers.
They're shooting the Champollion with the artillery, right? You should probably turn this one
Are
to.
they?
No, they're
Aren't they?
shooting
No,
over
shooting
here
flanks.
and over here.
Okay, I
Yeah,
forgot
I
there was still an X over here before.
Alright.
Yeah, he
I'm
did shell
hallucinating a lot of things in the
Champollion
Champollion.
Yeah, Champollion was the last turn, but he didn't put anything this turn, but he probably should have.
Yeah, that would have been a good place. Alright. I think we're good. So now it is afternoon of the 9th.
Okay.
No, 8th. 7th afternoon.
Then I believe Ludendorff and Konta would be finally co-located.
Okay. Can you move them? I think you should have permissions now.
Let's see, I was able to do that. Yep, I can move them.
Alright. So in the morning you send up scouts northward. They get pretty far actually, but then they report that a German battalion is sweeping through the woods heading south. Still, the 3rd Battalion and 5th, I forget the name, brigade, is it brigade? 1st Battalion, or 5th Regiment, 1st Battalion, are able to make some ground into the woods before you start getting engaged in heavy fighting, pretty close quarters within the woods. The 2nd Battalion reports that 2 German regiments are advancing south, or have advanced south from the trenches to the north of them. They've repulsed their attacks so far, but are under heavy fire. And then 3rd Battalion reports that a German regiment has moved from the Belleau woods into his position and gained a toehold within the woods, and they are fighting. They've fallen back towards the trenches, but and are fighting. In addition to that, you still hear sounds of battle to your southwest, and that's about it.
Hopefully not southwest, southeast, I'm assuming.
Nope, southwest.
Oh my god.
almost directly behind you.
All right, so we have contacts from battalion, German battalion to our front, correct? From the 6th Marine 2nd Battalion sees that. And to the far east from Belleau Wood, a German regiment tried to attack and then retreated back to their trench, correct?
No, your 3rd Battalion is retreating towards the trench and steadily falling back.
Okay.
And you said something about uh, 2 German regiments advancing south
Against
from
the
north.
against the 5th Regiment, 2nd Battalion.
5th Regiment, 2nd Battalion. Oh, okay. How many German regiments are we up against here? I think Neville will continue with our plan here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, might as well maybe have 6th Marine 1st Battalion on your 1st Battalion's left, and maybe even try to cut their rear or something if that's possible. Yeah, I don't think there's.
May have to. I think we may have to fall back. I mean, if there's an attack going on from Belleau,
I
that's
mean,
hitting
I
my
could have
battalion.
my 1st Battalion, head south and reinforce, your 2 battalions there.
Mm-hmm.
We keep the attack going in the north. Or you want to have your first battalion go south and have my 1st Battalion join the attack north.
I'll have your 1st battalion go north, press that attack to that German battalion to our front. See how much ground you can gain, if not the trench. Be aggressive with it.
Okay.
And then I'm going to take. Yeah,
I
go
think
ahead.
yeah. Sorry. It'll make sense if you head southeast, see what's the situation there.
Yeah. I'm going to
I'm
have
not
to.
quite sure.
So, and I'll go ahead and regroup my 5th. I think I'll have to go back into the trench line facing the northeast, falling back into that
Okay.
trench because I need to see the situation going by. I mean, we got fighting going to our south. Apparently, there's a tag going on from Belleau. I need to see if the 9th has fallen back, if they're going to get attacked from behind, if they're trying to help out whatever fight's going on to our south.
Okay.
Continue your attack. Continue your attack to the north. Obviously, we got to be more passive now because you don't want to take, ridiculous losses that we had yesterday. But continue the pressure
Yeah.
up to keep their attention. I'll regroup.
Now let's keep sending dispatches to keep
Yeah,
the.
I'll keep in contact with you. So, James, I'm going to fall back with my battalion into our original trench line and Bois de Saint Martin, facing the northeast or wherever that attack's coming from the German regiment, and I'll move along with them. Does it make sense at all?
So all your battalions are pulling back to that position.
Yeah, I'll have to fall back to that position, and then I'll have the 6th Marine continue their attack northwards, see how much ground they can actually gain.
And I'd like to have my HQ with the 1st Battalion, 6th Marine.
Got it. Lewis?
Just south of it.
Dude, do you want? Okay, quick question: do you want Lewis with you or with me, man? Do you want some company here, or?
Well, Lewis
I'm
gets
going
to
back
say.
with the 5th.
Lewis don't like
All right,
us.
buddy.
That's what I hear. All right.
All right.
I got it. Thank you. Oh yeah. Artillery fire.
I can't help but remember when I took a peek in the Allied planning channel, and somebody told the CIC that his plan was going to get them killed because he was, throwing everything into a single attack with no reserves. And I think about that particular message a lot every time I look at the how the battle's progressing.
I mean, if the what is this? The 6th Marine can break through this 1 battalion of Germans. They're also just kind of free.
Yeah, but I mean, I think that the Germans are free and more like they make a single breakthrough here. If the Germans, just walked forwards down in the south, they would find the American trenches
Yeah.
completely empty.
Yeah.
Here, I
If
don't know
the-
how this attack is going to go now that the artillery is involved. But I mean, they're attacking back into the artillery here, outnumbering the Americans here, and they're about to break through the trenches here if the attacks go well.
Yeah. Oh, James. These engineers, he said he wants them to be like building foxholes or trenches, like for the 1st battalion to like fall back into or something.
Sure.
Like, I don't think he expected them to do it immediately, but like expecting that this fight's gonna last a while, they're just preparing like rear trenches for the 1st battalion.
Each turn they can like lay down one of these things basically.
Okay, then yeah, that.
Let's do that fight.
First. James, did you give the combat rules for the module to the players?
No, I didn't.
I think that may be a large part of why some of the artillery placements are a bit weird, and the combat. I mean, I think they would have acted very differently if they knew just how suicidal some of these attacks would be.
Well, yeah, okay. It's World War I. I figured they would know, but let's see. All right, so they're attacking fortified city. So 9 turns to 7 because they're defending, and then a city. So 7 turns to 3, but then they got 2 guns shooting on them. So that's a 4. Oops. So that's -1 but remain in place. 5. Oh, there's just one of them. Alright, then they're shooting back. Oh yeah, 3.
And the Germans, they are pushing to the southeast. They want to reach the guns again.
And these 2 German units are both attacking the 2nd with artillery support.
Oof, okay.
The 2nd does have some foxholes there.
Yeah, alright,
But
so
yeah.
defense gets -2, so 8 turns to 6, and then the foxholes turns that to 5. But then, is it both guns shooting there? No, just one of them. So that turns it
Just one.
back
Yep.
to a 6. So that's -1 and remain in place. So they're holding for now, and they're shooting back with 2, no impact. All right, and then here, I will do up here. Let's put that back. Let's see. So is 1st Battalion, are they attacking? Or are they kind of? I guess they're holding.
Yeah, they're just holding.
Alright, so they're in the woods. So defenders 6, woods will give them a 4. So that's -1 and remain in place. But that's only 1, and each one gets an attack. So do it again. 10 turns to a 6. That's another. There's lots of casualties, but they're holding. The German line is dependent on the 193rd 1st Battalion. 8 -2 push back.
And they're not even defending in their trenches.
No.
Well, he did say that if it seemed like they couldn't handle it, they would move back to the trenches. So I mean, I don't know if they would have or not.
Well,
I mean, now they definitely would be now that they're starting to take casualties. But
I mean, they're
I thought that since before they didn't take
handling
any
it,
casualties,
yeah.
they'd be like,
I'd leave them in the woods. They're handling it.
okay.
They're not falling back yet. Okay, and then I'm doing this. So, okay, defender in a trench. So 9 turns to 7, turns to 5. But then they've got artillery fire against them, so 6 is a 1, but they hold. And then so -9 turns to 5, same thing. And then shooting back. In wood, so 6 turns to 4, so that's 5 and hold. And a 4 turns to 3, which is just hold. Okay. Those results make sense.
And then, oh yeah, we already took care of that. Yep, and then nothing going on here. Yep.
So now it is after, nope, nighttime again.
Nighttime.
7th night. Actually, should we make it dark? Lighting. Could be fun.
Also, if he's getting shelled on here, I'm guessing that I should reduce his vision a bit, just because it's
Yeah.
kind of hard to get your bearings when you're taking cover.
Maybe they'll get the hint to rest if it's darker. And anyone that doesn't rest, they'll take a disruption for it. Get my orders. Alright, so you fall back to the center of the San Martin woods. Behind the trenches, you withdraw your men. They take up position in the defenses again. The Germans push through the woods and are attacking your position. But now within the woods and within your trenches, it's a pretty solid position. And your men are able to hold fairly easily. You are getting bombarded by artillery, however, which isn't nice. And you can hear fighting both to your west and east, in addition to the fighting right next to you. It's nighttime now, so.
Mm-hmm. So I'm roughly in the Bois de Saint Martin. I'm in the northeast corner of that trench line, in the roughly open ground in the center of the woods, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And I'm in the trench line currently, like you said?
Yeah, your men are.
Okay.
Oh, hold on, I sent Catlin. Hold on. I sent you the wrong
Oh,
one.
you sent me the 6th. Oh, you're good. You're good, man.
Switch. Hold on.
Dude, I'm just happy I get Lewis with me, man. That's all I care about.
We're gonna fix it.
There we go.
Yeah, this might
You're
make more
good.
sense now. Well, now you know how your buddy's doing a little bit. All right, there's your screenshot.
All right. Cool. Yeah, I'm gonna continue to hold out and fight back at this attack. Can the 3rd Battalion of the 5th here? Can they see any enemy directly to at their front? I know it's dark out. Or do they spot anything at all?
They don't.
Okay. I'm gonna have them kind of rest there in a rough reserve, kind of where they are. 1st and 2nd Battalion and continue to engage. How well can the 3rd Battalion react to an attack from any other direction? Are they able to move to engage enemy as they come towards our trench?
Yeah.
Are they fairly
From
mobile?
the east, yeah.
Okay, coming from the east. Yeah, I'll let the men hold right now. We'll keep fighting. What's in front of us?
Okay. Thanks. Lewis, staying here?
Yep.
Alright.
Nice.
Sorry about the screenshot mix-up. You got to see how your buddy was doing a little bit.
Yep.
So your men gain a little bit of ground in the woods. You feel like you outnumber the enemy, but the Germans are just stubbornly holding on, making you fight for every inch, really. But you are slowly but surely gaining ground. You can hear fighting to your south behind you. And it's nighttime now.
Okay. Do I hear anything from the east?
I mean, you can hear artillery firing.
Okay. Okay. It's night. I'd like the first battalion to again move a little northwest, and yeah, my HQ company's first battalion here. The other two, they'll get some rest.
What's First Battalion's goal?
Yeah, its goal is the one that was the turn before, to flank the enemy from the west. Currently, we're engaging them head on from first battalion, so they are going to go northwest.
Okay. Got it. Thank you.
I go with them.
Well, it looks like the American gambit is working because the Germans don't know that they could just advance on the right.
It looks like the 23rd's got here just in time for the 9th.
Yeah. Are we reducing disruption at all if they rest for the night?
I might do that. Yeah. I was gonna let them get some disruption before I started doing that.
Yeah. The 9th Infantry 1st Battalion is just resting throughout the night, is what he said.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's not have them go below 1, but if they're not doing anything, let's have them recover.
Just like 1, like
Just
from
one,
8
yeah,
to
just
7.
1.
All right. Down in the south, he's making a night attack with his second battalion. I told him that they would take disruption if they don't sleep tonight. He's attacking anyways with just the second battalion while the first battalion rests.
Second battalion is attacking the Americans.
Yeah, he really wants to try and shut down those artillery. He thinks that because he drove off that one that
Oh,
I mean he doesn't know that the reinforcements coming, right? Because he can't see anything.
yeah.
And so yeah, he doesn't realize that there are now 3 infantry battalions you would have to get through.
Sure. Okay. So did you take away disruption for not sleeping already?
Like I was just, since you're running all the combat, I was
Okay.
just going to leave all that to you.
That's fine. I just want to make sure.
Oh, also the 460th and 398th are attacking too
Oh,
in the night.
so 6.
So James, you might want to count the 9th Infantry 1st Battalion as still at 8 if they're not going to be allowed to rest by this attack.
Yeah, put them back at 8. 9, but they're in defenses. Oh, that should be a 7.
Also, the artillery's continuing here.
Yeah,
The two
their night attack has failed. No, wait, I did that. Okay. And then they're attacking here in the St. Martin Woods too. Relentless. So that's a 7. So because they're night attacking, let them know that the men are just exhausted now. 6 turns. 2, no impact. They're holding. Nothing. Okay. So those that fought through the night.
Oh wait, that would mean
And they're getting bombarded. Okay. Alright, I think we're done. Daytime.
I think even though the 193rd down here is probably going to be driven out very quickly, it's still pretty good that they took out a third of their artillery and have kept the rest of their artillery distracted for so long.
Put the Americans on the
Yeah.
back foot for sure. I'm hoping someone can figure out how to do a coordinated artillery and concentration.
But what did the 193rd Recover one from like resting in the night.
Who? Where?
Over here, they were resting in the trenches throughout the night.
Looking for where you said. They fell back in the night because they were here.
Okay, so that is okay.
Yeah, if they're moving at all.
Yeah, I think the cow's resting. You have to like stand still, not be engaged.
Okay. Because I mean, it seems like that they could do that rather quickly, and then they would have the rest of the night to rest.
Dorf is with Bischoff now.
June 8th, 1918 morning. Screenshots. Did Malone say that they wanted to co-locate with Bundy? They're pretty close to each other. Like, is he just cool with where he's at?
Yeah, he just kind of said he wanted to scout around himself.
Scout around himself. I'd put him with Bundy.
Yeah, just
Oh yeah, Biscoff and Ludendorff are co-locating, by the way.
I moved them.
That seems silly.
Okay.
Where's?
he can scout. He can scout by just being informed by the person who was here the whole time.
Yeah, they shouldn't be doing personal reconnaissance. Tell him he's got plenty of men that can go out for him if he wants to
All right.
know about something.
He's got plenty of fresh West Point second lieutenants.
Okay, let me get my orders. All right. Well, the Germans seemed intent of not letting you sleep. They continue to send waves of assaults throughout the night. Luckily, your Marines hold, and by morning, it seems at least one of the German battalions is withdrawn. Another one's still pretty close to the trenches, but the firing has definitely lit up from what it was before. Also, through the night, you hear artillery barrages hitting along the line to the south, not where you're at. So your men get a pretty decent reprieve. And then you hear fighting, pretty heavy fighting to the southwest, not that far away, like a mile away or less. That's about it.
Okay. I like the 3rd Battalion to take over 2nd Battalion's position. Is that going to be difficult, obviously, under fire? Or is that actually achievable in the trench line? Like switching positions?
Yeah, I'm going to say it's doable, but it's basically the whole... That's all they're doing for the turn. That's fine.
Yeah. So I like the 3rd Battalion to switch to the 2nd Battalion, so the 2nd Battalion could try to get a little bit of rest. At least try to rotate somebody here. As far as that goes, that's all orders I have. Lewis, you got anything, man?
Lewis,
Nope.
Do you want to go hang out with the infantry that are supposed to be reporting to you?
Actually, yes. I didn't get the visual, so but
Man, you gonna be leaving me, dude?
yeah, I'm gonna go check in with them, see what all they got going on.
Okay.
Can you go out and scout a little bit? Let me know what you see.
I'm gonna put you with Bundy for next turn. Neville, you're gonna have to hang out by yourself for a little while.
See you, Lewis.
All right. Where's Upton at?
Wow. All these U.S. commanders are congregating with the artillery, huh?
Where'd Upton go?
James,
Where did Upton go? I'm trying to find him. Oh, there he is. They are all together.
Would you say it would take a little bit for 3rd Battalion to get orders from Malone, since
Yes.
they're not really close?
Where's 3rd Battalion at?
I don't remember how to ping, but he's
Just tab it. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a slight delay. I mean, not that far, but. Sure.
all right.
Oh shoot! I forgot to get orders. Hold on. Catlin. So your 1st Battalion and you move up in the night onto the flank of the enemy. When you hear movement in the woods, some skirmishing, but by morning your recon scouts report that the Germans have fallen back north to
Okay.
the trenches. The woods are this small section of woods are essentially yours now.
Okay. Do I hear anything from the southwest?
Yeah, sorry. Through the night, you hear fairly heavy fighting south of you. Yes.
Okay. My orders are as follows. The 2nd and 3rd Battalion, they attack the trenches head on. They move north, and the 1st Battalion and myself, we cross the. We reach that intersection between the trench and the river. We essentially get into the trenches there and attack the enemy from there, from his western flank. Is that clear?
Yes.
Okay.
Another turn of the German artillery doing absolutely nothing, sadly.
That's all right. I guess I can start rolling here. Who's attacking?
But yeah, so he wants to just like reinforce, like he wants to start taking trenches with the 2nd and 3rd down here.
Okay.
At 3 up to.
Are the Americans attacking? Do you know?
The 9th is not. I don't know about the 23rd.
The 23rd also is not just gone into line with each other.
Okay, so it's gonna be a bit.
So he wants them to like rest and just take trenches.
Alright, so they're getting bombarded.
That sounds like an oxymoron.
Yeah, they're still getting hit by double artillery this turn.
So they took a disruption for the building and the artillery, but they do have trenches now
Why do you put up the disruption on the 2nd battalion?
for the artillery and building the trenches. Or is it just one battalion?
Sir, I can't hear you. Be quiet. What do you say?
For the artillery and building trenches, or is it just the one doing it?
Oh, sorry.
Both of them are.
Yeah, okay, let's do that. There's no other fighting there. Oh no, there's fighting. It's up here. Alright, so they're defending.
Oh, this is a good flank from the 1st Battalion.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's see, 8, but they're in woods.
I'm surprised the 461st hasn't moved at all.
Yeah, no, actually, I was in the channel when the 461st commander said, "Hey, maybe I should see what's to our south." And he was told by his commander, "We're stretching them too thin." So no.
Interesting.
And I did make sure to let him know that all's been quiet in his sector.
Hmm.
It's only been
But-
quiet for like 12 hours.
I guess it really has been all quiet on the Western Front.
Eastern Front in this case.
Yeah,
The eastern
Balmer
front of
can
the
stick
western
his head
front.
above the trench and draw his butterfly.
All right.
Was it a butterfly in the original movie?
Yeah, it's a butterfly.
And then the 1970s version, it's a bird.
What are we talking
No, it's still a
about?
butterfly.
The movie?
It's so funny. We have like an allied council of war going on down here while what's his Catlin way up here is like well, attack.
I'm gonna win by myself.
Yeah, it's like he's like gonna win by himself while they're all conferring.
I mean, if he's lucky enough, he might. Like, he has like a single super disruptive battalion to get through up here, and then a second super disruptive one to get through.
Can
Yeah, I mean they're
can
broke.
someone take Lewis? Whoever has Bundy, would you take Lewis for me?
Yeah. I have Bundy. I'll take Lewis.
It's all the same screenshot.
Oh, are we sending screenshots now?
Yeah.
Oh wait. How far can Dan get? Because he wants to get up to the second battalion. How far would he get before he realizes? Oh, there's Americans right there.
Well, he could. Is he trying to get to first?
Yeah, over here.
I mean, it's taking a little. Yeah, we can. I guess he'd come around and get there. He can get there.
All right.
Oh, you already did the afternoon for Lewis. Whoop, 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 whoop. All right, screenshots.
Now the afternoon of the 8th.
Correct.
Did the wrong one again.
And then let the 5th Marines know that there have been some light scouting actions by the Germans in the woods to their northwest.
Good to know.
Yep, not a full-on assault, but just some light skirmishers, and they've detected some scouts.
All right, Bundy, Lewis, Upton, screenshots have been sent.
All right, Major Neville. I think it's Major. Is it Major and Colonel?
It's wherever you want to promote me to, man.
Well, you're about to be promoted. All right, Colonel. So
Did you? I noticed the picture got mixed up again. Are you gonna send me another one?
I
Or no?
keep mixing it up, but you should have the right one now.
Nah, you're good, man.
Let's see. Oh shoot! How did I? Hold on.
Ah, you're good. Take your time, man.
I messed it up. I was fixing it, and then I just double messed it up anyway. Here we go. Let's do it again. All right, Neville. There we go. Okay, now you got your screenshot.
Okay.
So, the Germans fall back. The heavy fighting is no more. You are getting bombarded by artillery, and there is you do get reports from the front lines that there are sightings of German scouts here and there. Nothing maybe heavy, but they are scouting your position. You still hear the sounds of fighting to your southwest have decreased, although you can still hear artillery shooting, and it sounds like it's hitting Champollion. And then you also hear fighting to your north. And that's it.
Okay. I want to have the boys just hunker down and take it. If I'm able to separate the first battalion, like give some spacing here, like a few hundred yards. Like the first battalion can spread up to the left, so towards like the northwest and the trench line. and 2nd Battalion goes south a little ways just to spread out a little bit, if able.
Yep.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and do that. Give as much spacing, but I still want to keep an eye on these guys. So I like to give at least a couple hundred yards, give some spacing here to the bombardment as they hang everybody at once. Other than that, that'll probably be the end of orders, man.
Got it, thank you. Sorry about the screenshots. I don't know why I keep messing you two.
No worries.
All right, so with the 1st Marines, you cross that small stream where there's a break in the trenches due to it, and you can hear the 2nd and 3rd Battalion get engaged with the enemy, and then the 1st Battalion is moving around, engaging with the enemy in the woods on their flank. But it feels like you got them in a pretty good position.
Okay.
Some good damage. You can see from scouting and from what you can see, there's no Germans to your north or northwest, at least in the vicinity. Bussiers doesn't seem to be defended, as far as you can tell. And you can still hear some fighting to the south, not as much as before. That's about it.
Okay. I'd like to keep up the attack. Nothing new for this turn.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Interesting. So the 1st and 2nd Battalion of the 273rd were ordered to dig light trenches, and then when the artillery lifted, to attack this trench line. So I gave them a boost in their morale. Not a boost, another point to their morale, but I don't know if they'd be able to attack or not.
Let's say I don't think their attack would be successful anyway. Let's just say that they sent a small. They complied, malicious compliance. They sent a small attack that was repulsed, and so they've fallen back.
Okay.
Are the Americans attacking in the southwest?
I don't know.
Only
I
if
don't
Jacob
believe
says
so.
they are.
Malone's releasing the 1st and 2nd to Bundy, I believe, and he went over to his 3rd Battalion.
All right, let me go clarify that because I think I remember him saying that, but I didn't quite understand what he meant. Let me go back real fast.
What about Dane? What are these? Are these guys in position where they wanted them to be? Up here.
Oh yeah, so he wanted the 193rd to retreat towards the 460th slowly. Ludendorff, he was sending troops west to try and reinforce Karl, and they would obviously be forced to kind of stop as they saw the situation here, and I'm sure they would join in the fighting.
Kind of do something like this.
Oh no, the 460th just arrived here retreating. Like this is the end of their movement to retreat here. So I don't know if they'd be able to fight at all.
We'll do that then.
Yeah, there's the 1st and the 2nd of the 23rd are not moving forward. They're just getting in trenches. So the 6th Marine are just not going to be supported at all, huh?
It's all on their own.
It's unfortunate.
It seems the Germans are too afraid to commit to
Anything.
something. Because, I mean, this unit here could very easily hit someone from the rear. And
I don't think any of them are actually communicating all that in depth. They're kind of sending kind of vague reports, so nobody knows where any of the enemies actually are.
I mean, you've got this whole regiment here with nothing in front of it.
Are we gonna co-locate Upton and Malone?
Upton and Malone. Yeah, they're close enough to be co-located.
The U.S. is going to have some major casualties, but I think
It's amazing the Germans have snatched defeat from the jaws of victory.
Yeah, I mean, if the Allies would just storm Chapillon and then go up that road, this is like a convincing Allied victory. Right now, it's more maybe an Allied victory just because the Germans are standing still most places.
I mean, you're running into the classic World War I issue is they're not following up their success. I mean, the Germans got 2 fresh battalions here that could pretty much.
Also,
Yeah,
I like it. So
could be cut off.
even if the 193rd tried to retreat, the Allied, sorry, the German CIC accidentally cut off their own retreat with artillery barrages right on the road where they were passing through.
Yeah, man, I wish the 23rd Infantry would just storm that town. There's been double artillery there for like 3 turns now.
Yeah, I think at a certain point, like I think it's like 4 turns with this turn, you know. So like,
Yeah,
it's basically a
literally
guaranteed
multi-turn.
victory with you attack. James, can you spend multiple times in like entrenching? Do you get like stacking bonuses, or is it just one and done?
I guess they could add more defenses nearby. Get more defense in depth.
I don't know. I'd almost invalidate the 193's trenches because they've been under double artillery bombardment for like, what, 18 hours?
They got tiny little foxholes. I mean, the Iron Champignon had his own defenses of its own.
Yeah.
I mean, the artillery's doing
known.
The artillery's doing the digging for them at this point.
Yeah, they're in the ruins of Chapillon.
Just jump from shell hole to shell hole. That's your foxhole.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's no way artillery gets full in the same place twice, right?
Right. It's like lightning.
Alright.
Night turn.
All right, let me move Ludendorff and Bin together.
Am I still doing Lewis?
Yeah, if he's still with him.
Yeah, he's just chilling. Oh crap. I disconnected.
Alright, General Neville, it is now nighttime. Not much has changed. You've extended your defenses along the trench line. The 2nd Battalion's linked up with the 9th Infantry 2nd Battalion, who's on your right. You hear lots of artillery fire not far from your own guns. Sounds like they're still shooting Champollion. And a good bit of fighting to the north. Of course, you can't see anything. It's beyond the trees. Your own front line's pretty quiet in the afternoon.
Okay. Does sending scouts out affect men's rests?
No.
Okay. So I'll have 1st, 3rd, and 2nd send scouts out, figuring out towards the relative positions. For example, the 1st Battalion was sent out as scouts directly to their front, 3rd Battalion to their front, 2nd Battalion to their front as far as they're able to see what's in front of us. I'll go ahead and co-locate with Bundy, wherever he is currently. I'll let the men rest as they're able.
Got it. Thank you. All right, Colonel Catlin. Your men make a major breakthrough.
Okay.
You're able to force the enemy back, seize the trench lines. You're now behind their defenses, and you push them all the way back to Torsi and Valos. It does appear that reinforcements arrived from the east. Now they're firing at you from the edge of the city. First Battalion took a lot of casualties. They were forced back. So they're kind of in the rear to the west now, but 3rd and 2nd are holding the line. But they don't have the cover of the woods or any trenches or defenses. They're kind of exposed just out in the open fields right now. The enemy's pretty exposed too. So men on both sides are just taking what cover they can, really, quickly digging holes where there aren't any.
Okay.
But it's night has fallen. Fighting's still going on, though you can't hardly see anything anymore. And that's it.
Okay. I'd like to have all 3 of my battalions fall back into the woods and have a good night's sleep. Okay.
Got it.
But hopefully they'll stay in the German trenches, right? They won't go south of the trenches.
Okay. Got it. Putting the smoke down.
Okie dokie. Oh, where's the? Yeah. So they're still bombarding Chapillon, and they're also bombarding Belleau itself.
At least the 2nd Battalion needs some rest then with less artillery fire. They're just resting down here. And he wanted to retreat east to regroup, so of course that is the turn where the Americans decide to attack it again for no reason.
Yeah, he literally was like, "I'm gonna do both. I'm gonna do both into Chapillon." He was like, "Yeah, you know what? They can do one. Let's do one into Belleau."
Can they reach that far? It's just they can, yeah.
So we have psychic American artillery commanders and blind German artillery officers.
Alright, so everyone not fighting gets to recover at least to 1, or down 1 to 1. Do it for your people, don't go crazy.
Also, wait, so he said he wanted to like focus on reinvigorating the Min and Belleau. Does that give you any bonus at all, or is this still just one?
Reintegrating. They just got there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, if he spends another turn doing it, we'll give him an extra subtraction, disruption subtraction bonus.
So just one for now.
Their bombardment too. Pew, pew,
So
pew,
the
pew.
artillery, I mean, they've been going non-stop for like 3 days. Should we? I feel like we need to they need a rest or something.
The Americans have spent 6 turns getting a nice bombardment bonus, and they're going to lose it all.
I guess let the commanders on both sides know that the guns. What's a good rule for that? Let's say they can do. Since I didn't say this before, they can do 3 turns of bombardment before they need a 2-turn rest, or 1-turn rest before resuming.
Okay.
So they can do 3 more from now, but then they'll need a rest.
I would imagine too, with all this artillery fire, they're probably running low on shells.
Yeah. Yeah. Rest and restart.
Or the barrels have started melting.
Bundy moved off from Lewis. Do you want Lewis back, or
What's Lewis doing?
I'm just gonna take Lewis because he has a complicated assignment right now because he's technically commanding two of Malone's battalions. So I understand it. I'll keep him.
I'll take Bundy since he's with Neville.
Okay, that works for me. I already sent the morning thing, but I haven't sent a screenshot yet.
Okay, yeah, I got it.
And then we've got a attack down here that needs combat rolled.
My bad. That was in the middle of the night.
Sorry, he was taking a little bit because dispatches were. I think he was the last one to receive dispatches.
He's doing a night attack.
It was for the night turn, yes.
Yeah. Did you?
Oh, jeez.
Did you reduce his disruption already, or?
I did not. No, they were both already at 2.
So 4 is 3. Let's see, he's in trenches. Okay. So they're holding.
And he said if they could not, he said if they couldn't take the trenches, they were to fall back to their original position.
Okay, well then they'll fall back. Not heavy casualties, but they didn't take it.
Well, they also get 1 from the just from staying up, right?
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
No sleeping, you're not unhappy.
I think that, I mean, honestly, like, if a unit doesn't sleep, they should start taking, like, increasing disruption throughout the day until they, like, get a chance to rest and sleep.
Die.
Yeah, because, I mean, like, when you stay up all night, is it just, like, oh, I feel a bit bad in the morning, and then you're fine? I know by, like, noon, I'm, like, dead.
Yeah, but you read the accounts of, like, World War II fighters, and they were, like, in the middle of battles, they were up for, like, 2 or 3 days straight, it seems sometimes, and, like,
Yeah, I think it's kind of like if you can make it through the night, drugs will get you there.
And by this point, too, the Germans are probably mostly used to having some sleepless nights under artillery barrages.
Mm-hmm. Oh no, that's a pretty sick trenches. Like the British kind of just dug like slumps in the ground, and then like the Germans had like complete concrete, dedicated like bunk beds and like in the rooms, good storage rooms. Like if you had to be in one of the trenches, I think the Germans had the best trenches to be in.
I mean, they even had like electric in some of their trenches.
Yeah, I can't like. Can you imagine being like the construction guys coming up to the trench line, like laying down the concrete? How would that even work? You know.
Well, I know the British, they didn't want their guys to make their trenches that good because they thought it would
They get too comfortable.
give them motivation
Encourage them to not advance.
to advance. Yeah, to capture the next line of trenches. So
That's such a
we're on-
British thing to do, man.
Alright. Alright. You didn't have to go far because Bundy came to you.
Nice.
So he joins your HQ in the woods. You not too much activity through the night. As your scout reports come back in by the morning, you're told that there's an estimated 2 German battalions in the woods to the northeast, dug in, and holding position. You hear mostly artillery through the night, not much more. Bundy, FYI, the guns are running low on ammo, and the artillerymen are getting tired. You got about 3 more turns of fire before they need to rest and restock.
Okay.
Okay. That's about it.
Have we made a mountain
Have
of
you
shells
heard
behind the
anything
guns yet?
Yes, you have a mountain. Been
Thank
firing
God.
nonstop
Alright.
for 3 days, so.
That's
what's up?
impressive when you think about it. Anyways, let's say, have you heard from the 6th? Do you know what's going on in Champlain at all? What's the word from that
no.
direction?
Speaking of, when did they go and to do their attack? Because I sent that like a day ago.
When did who go?
So that was, bro. So that would have been the night of June 7th. They continued their attack towards the northwest. Then I got caught with the German attack on our position in the northeast. I'm currently at, to give you a reference. So original trench line?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I see. I'm there.
Well.
I'm there.
Okay.
Okay. So I don't know about the 6th. This turn, I made a on the fly regiment out of 2 battalions from the 23rd. I called them up from the south and the 1st battalion of the 9th. There is at least 2 German battalions in Champlain. They have been getting shelled for the last 2 days straight, pretty much. There was a 3rd battalion. I don't know if it fell back. And I'm hoping to use. That's why I need the 6th to attack them, because we'll be able to at least either destroy these 2 battalions or force a mass surrender. And that should shift the numbers back in our favor.
I sent him a message at. It would have been June 8th morning that I sent him, hey, fall back to help with the attack of Champlain. I haven't heard from him. Now it's June 9th.
Catlin, so your men retire. I'll give you a screenshot.
Mm-hmm.
Back to the trench lines. It's good, probably a good thing too, because I think the Germans were keen to bombard your former position with artillery through the night. But you've been able to get some rest, occupy the lines. It seems the Germans have remained in the east where they were for the most part, according to your scouting reports.
Okay.
And that's it.
Do I hear anything from the south?
Lots of artillery fire still.
Our own?
Probably, yes.
Okay. I'd like to have all 3 battalions entrench themselves wherever they are right now, facing towards the enemy, towards the east. And if the enemy advances, they shoot. If not, they get some more rest. And yeah, hopefully they're in the woods, entirely concealed in the woods.
There's not a ton of woods here, but yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. Thank you.
On these guys later. But yeah, that's what I want you to do, is go with your 1st battalion to L'Enchampillon, get the 6th reorganized and folded back in with you for future movement, and then the ad hoc regiment should be attacking Champillon at the same time.
All right.
Okay, I'll move that direction.
What's the orders?
Cool.
So I'm gonna be with the 1st battalion. I'm gonna move along our trench line to the far west, at the edge of the tree line of Bois de Saint Martin. facing the southwest towards Champlon.
Okay.
I'm hoping to link up with the 6th. However, my 3rd and my 2nd will shift in the trench line to face those 2 German battalions. So, for example, the 6th will move north just a bit to be in line with the German battalion, and 3rd battalion, my 3rd battalion, will shift to be in front of the other German battalion.
Okay.
And those are my orders. Is that clear? Does it make sense?
Got it. Bundy, you going anywhere?
No, I'm gonna go back to my headquarters down by the artillery the artillery park.
Okay. And are they shooting still?
Yeah, guns. We're gonna have one battery shift its fire on these 2 German battalions directly to the front of the Marines here. And you know what? Another 6 hours for those in Champollion.
Okay. Got it. All right, thank you.
Gotcha. Nothing
That's what I would say at least.
That's what I figured. That's what I told him. I just wanted to make sure, like, next turn not to have the screenshot of them already engaged.
Yeah. No. James,
Yes.
is the artillery like? Do they have to stop firing this turn, or is it next turn that they're gonna stop firing?
Next turn.
Okay. Okay, then yeah, he's firing both guns over here,
Both guns over where?
down here,
Oh.
in the southwest at Capitol.
To slow down the attack.
Yeah, the Americans are supporting the attack with one gun, and the other gun is over here.
All
So
right.
overall, the Germans have more guns in the area.
All right, let's
But
do
they're
this.
outnumbered 2 to
So
1.
they're holding.
Also, so he's come down personally with the priest man gate. I don't know. So they started like here,
Yeah.
and this is about 2.5 miles. I don't know how much further they could get in the morning to support the defense here.
If they're still there, they can arrive at the end. If they're retreating, they'll run into them retreating. Let's roll. All right.
Okay.
So in this city, they've been taking 2 days of artillery bombardment. So that's like that's like a +4, which negates. the
Right, and
city.
they haven't been too entrenched,
Yeah. So
so they haven't been in their nice, comfy dugouts.
That was a lucky roll for them.
Yeah, and there's 4 battalions swarming it.
Wow. The Germans are blessed today. 3. Wow, okay. And the Americans are getting attacked back. Plus artillery bombardment.
Well, don't the defenses also give a bonus on the attack for the defender,
No,
or is it only okay?
just a reduction of damage -3, pushback 4. I guess that's it. So they're holding in the city. But these guys are all pushing pretty hard.
So yeah, these guys are, I guess, arriving
So
now.
they arrive, yeah.
You said.
Man, if they'd had better rolls, they would have pushed them out. But bad luck for the Americans. Alright, nothing. That's woods. So no.
Malone's given his entire command away.
I see.
If this German commander, if Kanta had just ordered one of his battalions to head north.
I don't understand how. Like, do they not understand where the 6th Marine is? Like, the Germans had like a defense put up, and now it's like evaporated.
Yeah, the Germans frustrate me so much too, man. Like you just barely like the Americans basically left of their own accord. You were like getting your shit pushed in, and then you're like, okay, let's do the exact same thing as before, but with like one less division on the trenches. You know, like I don't know. What do they think is going to happen?
That's what I thought was going to happen.
Yep.
Yikes.
But they don't have time to get into the position. Like the Marines are just.
Right.
I mean, this guy's new, so you can't really blame him too much. It's so frustrating to watch from a bird's eye view.
I mean, the 6th Marine commander deserves the Medal of Honor after this game. It's like, Jesus.
single-handedly winning against the 3 Germans defending their HQ.
And Kanta knows that there's fighting going on here. He's just refusing to support it.
Well, the Americans are also choosing not to support the 6th Marine.
And then Bischoff here, he keeps receiving reports that his entire right is completely quiet. No rifle shots, nothing. And his idea, we're going to attack Lucy Le Bocage again. We're going to attack where the enemy is.
He at least has the benefit of the CIC directly telling him, do not go south, do not dare to explore the void there.
I guess,
So, I mean,
but
Even though that would be a win or like a very good move, yeah.
All right, you taking Bundy
Okay.
back, Prozan?
Yeah, I'll take Bundy back.
And
oh, also, yeah, Peter, I guess he loses 2 this time, so he's down to 6.
Are you doing Lewis?
where's
Were the
Lewis?
460th here? They didn't fight at all. Would they lose a disruption this turn?
Who? What? Where?
The 460th? They weren't fighting at all. They've just
No,
been sitting here
no,
all
well, they just
for the past
they
rounds.
don't gain or lose. They just sit there.
Okay.
That's where they're at.
What was that about? Are you taking Lewis or am I sticking with Lewis?
Who's he with? Malone?
Yeah.
Who,
Lewis is like commanding like a combat group of like two other regiments dudes.
who's got Malone?
I do.
Will you take Lewis then?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, so Lewis kind of has command of like all this stuff, but Malone controls 2/3 of that.
Malone gave it away earlier. He just gave the 3rd
Yeah.
Battalion away to.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying, now that he's back, he technically has command over this, but Bundy did put Lewis in charge of this entire left attack on the Champollion. So like it's like nominally under the wing commander's control, but Malone does need to give reports for the 1st and the 2nd of the 23rd.
Yeah.
It's a weird situation. They just gotta put together a combat group as quickly as possible.
Oh wait, Bundy. Who's Bundy with now?
Okay.
Where's Bundy?
Uh,
Oh,
he's with Neville.
No, well, I know he's. He has his own voice channel. Oh, sorry, I didn't realize I wasn't in the umpire channel anymore. Okay, I think I fixed it. Sorry about that. All right, Catlin. So
Yep.
your men come under attack in the morning. Yes. From a German battalion, but the Germans are easily repulsed, crossing the open fields in front of you. Your men hold very limited casualties on your side.
Okay.
You hear the German guns firing not far to your east, maybe a mile to your east.
Okay.
You hear fighting in the woods to your south, back where you think the 5th is. And lots of fighting, kind of your fighting to your southeast and southwest. Just lots going on down there. But yeah,
Okay.
after repelling the battalion, they retreated back to the city of Torcy-en-Valois, and you can see another. There's another battalion guarding the crossroads to your northeast, but otherwise it's pretty
Okay.
quiet.
I'll have the 3rd Battalion stationed where it is. I'll take the 2nd and 1st with me towards the southwest, wherever I hear fighting noise coming from. And yeah, if I come across the enemy, we engage them. I go with the 1st and 2nd.
Got it.
Okay.
Alright, Neville. So you move west with your 1st Battalion and join kind of a mishmash, the 23rd and the 9th, in an attack on Champollion. You've not dislodged the enemy yet, but so you remain outside the city with some heavy fighting. You do see reinforcements coming down the road from the north to reinforce them, and that's about it. Oh, no, that's not about it. The 2nd and 3rd Battalion report that they come under heavy attack, but they've so far holding without issue and pretty low casualties.
Awesome. And the movement from the north, that's the Germans coming down to reinforce Champollion, correct?
Yep.
Okay. I want to stay here with 1st Battalion to support this attack on Champollion. My 3rd and 2nd, as soon as nightfall hits, will counterattack those 2 German battalions that we know of to the northeast to dislodge them from their defensive positions to support.
We'll counterattack because it's afternoon now, so
Counterattack, yeah. Yeah, counterattack now. Yeah, we'll wait till nightfall.
Okay, got it. Very interesting turn.
Over the retreat.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so they're not bombing Champollion anymore?
Where are the Americans? I guess not. Binko's American, right? Yeah.
So the turn where it might be... Oh, wait. None of the artillery's fighting this turn, right?
That's the... They get one more turn, and then it's at night. It's got to stop.
Okay. Oh, wait, why do you move off the campfire? Like, they're still firing there.
Oh, sorry. That was the German fire?
Yeah.
Not bad. Okay.
No worries.
Is everyone gone?
We need combat here, and down in Lucy Le Bocage. But
Also,
yep.
the engineers are fortifying the 2nd Battalion of 398th down here.
Okay.
They're digging trenches for them.
Which Americans are in this fight? Is like this one and this one's back?
9th, Lewis ordered the 9th back.
Okay.
23rd's, I guess, technically still in it.
Alright, let's do this again. Okay, that would do that finally for that.
Some really good artillery barrages from the Americans this turn.
I know they like spot on immediate, like right where they needed to be. Except for, I think they should have focused on Champollion. They're losing such a huge bonus by stopping the fire, especially with the CIC.
Yeah, this is like one of the turns where it would have been great to stay in the Champollion with it, but if not Champollion, he picked some good spots.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean the Americans have had the most effective artillery fire. Although it helps it's easier to pick artillery targets when the enemy is like directly next to your backyard for the entire game.
Yeah, shoot at what you know.
This turn was huge. So
Yikes.
Yeah.
They got pushed back, but they're getting attacked from the north, so I mean they could like flee west to like break entirely. I don't know, what do you think?
I think if you're fleeing into an enemy attack, it's like that's kind of it.
They're done.
I mean, they're
Mhm.
the only way to go is kind of this way, and they're off map.
I think this might be the game-winning attack.
A single turn of the Americans finally working together, and it's to surround and capture the German commander-in-chief.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know about the rest of y'all, but I think I'm pretty confident calling this an American victory.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Germans surrounded here.
Yeah. I don't know. Have we rolled all this? Because this is an attack with America.
Yeah, they're attacking into the trenches here. Like they're more disrupted attacking into trenches and
Yeah,
getting hit
yeah.
by artillery.
But they're
Americans
also
have it,
getting attacked from the rear.
but they're getting attacked from the rear. Yeah, like
I'm no
there's
way. Actually,
American
so this guy was only moving Belleau to here. I think they would be able to move west and hit them in the flank here potentially. His orders were vague. He just said into the trenches. So I mean,
It doesn't super matter though, because even if this is a stalemate, everything in Champollion is now just going to move up. And
oh yeah, no, this is not good for the Germans by any means. At best, this is just like a huge American advantage. At worst, it's just like a loss.
And they're getting attacked in the rear.
The dice speaketh. The dice speaketh.
Alright, so they once that happens, I think they'd fall back.
The
We want
Americans.
to roll.
Oh, no,
we
that's
want to
the
roll
Germans.
for this commander if he
Yeah.
gets captured
Alright,
or if he
we'll
gets away.
Let's see. I'm used to rolling my d6 for this.
But I think the officers are pretty safe in the back line unless they just
He's in the
specifically say,
middle
"I
of
want to get up on the
woods
front."
getting
Well,
attacked
he
in the
ordered
rear.
to be in the back of the
Yeah.
attack over here. He
Yeah.
didn't. He wasn't prepared for this
Yeah.
here.
He's also being suppressed by artillery, so he could have been found in a foxhole somewhere, cowering.
We'll just leave it there to show it, even though 'cause this is it.
Yeah.
Okay. There's
Has
fighting
combat
down
been
here.
rolled?
Oh,
Yep.
okay.
Yeah.
All
So
sorts of
that might be the only possible salvation for the Germans.
Let's see.
Yeah, but
No, they're attacking into a trench still. I really don't think.
Yeah. No artillery support into fresher troops in the trenches.
So 2, and that's a 10, but that's wood, so. Oh, I didn't even. Yeah, okay. -2 pushback.
Oof. Yep.
5, and then.
Once again, they were ordered if they could not take the trenches to pull back.
Well, okay.
So
Good on the Americans for that gambit. Like condensing their forces together worked.
Okay. I don't think it's the initial gambit is still like unequivocally failed. I think it's just that Germans had awful coordination after the fact and take advantage of it.
Mm-hmm.
Like if they had taken more advantage of initially taking, like they were in the American trenches down here. They had basically like broken open the gates, right? So if they had just like consolidated here and maybe like gotten to the trenches here, I think they could have very easily won just by keeping the Americans pinned in here with a light screen and like
Maybe.
seizing 2/3 of the American trenches. Like that would have just been a German victory, I think.
Man, I think the same could be said for the 6th Marine if they were supported at all with artillery, like in their.
Oh yeah,
attacks
well,
in
I'm saying
the
that
game.
that comes later though. I'm saying like the initial gambit, right? Like, are you talking about the initial gambit of the
Oh, yeah,
Allied
yeah.
CIC, or
No,
the
I'm talking
later
about-
gambit?
I'm talking about his like mid-game gambit to just let the 23rd
Mhm.
like abandon the right side of the map.
Oh, okay, yeah, that definitely succeeded because like the Germans,
Did not.
Germans
Yeah,
were,
punish them.
I would hate to be the German player on the east flank. I would fall asleep, man.
Alright, let's go to the lobby and get everyone there.
Oh, so does this mean that we won?
Please mute your mics until it's your time to speak.
Hello.
Alright, welcome everyone. Alright, so what we're gonna do, what I always do is first of all, we're gonna let the CICs share how they think things are going, and then I'm gonna share my screen and talk over what happened from overall perspective, and then all the umpires will share their additional thoughts and experiences. And then we'll go one by one. All the players will have a chance to share their experience, what they learned, what they did, what they do different, that kind of stuff. So, first of all, the CICs, we'll start with Bundy. How do you think you're doing? Are you winning, losing? Thoughts?
I think, if you asked me like an hour ago, I would have said we were getting our asses kicked. But right now, I think we're actually winning this, surprisingly.
All right. And on the German side, is it Ludendorff?
Yes.
Yeah.
Similar. If you asked me an hour ago, I'd say we're winning, but I think we're losing now.
Okay. So let me share my screen. Okay, hold on. Hopefully everyone can see that. All right. So both teams, I'd say, well, no, both teams had a pretty aggressive strategy to start off with. The American side had their Marines all grouped together and with intentions of attacking kind of through here. And that didn't go very well to start with because they came under fire from artillery fire and then basically fire from all sides because the Germans had people in the woods here. So it just didn't go well. The Germans aggressively moved this way to start off with. I think they're attacking here and here actually. But the Americans didn't really leave anything to guard their left. And so as the Marines were attacking here, there's nothing to stop the Germans here. So they made it all the way to Champollion and then saw that the guns weren't barely defended or weren't really defended at all. So they moved to attack. The engineers actually had to go and fight to defend the guns. And one of the batteries was lost early on, and then the American infantry was basically rushed from the right to the left to defend the guns, and there was fighting around Champollion the rest of the time. Actually, no, I'll get back to that. So the Marines, I was with the Marines mostly. So after their initial failed attack, they retreated back to these woods and regrouped. Well, actually, no, they didn't regroup. They immediately turned and attacked this way. Let me get rid of these lines. So they got here and fought, and there's kind of a stalemate in those woods for a day. And then the 6th remained here, and the 5th came back to here, and eventually here. And the 6th, I would say, if there was an award for the Americans, the 6th gets it because they basically pushed through the woods and eventually captured this position here. They got past the trench and were really threatening the German guns and HQ and supply lines. But they pulled back and then held there. The very last turn, the 6th, was instrumental in sweeping south, and I'll get to what happened there in a second. But sweeping there, holding there, and at the end, at least here in the center, the 273rd German side was attacking the 3rd Battalion of the 6th, but the 5th Marines were also attacking their rear, and the Germans got caught out in the open by that. It wasn't very good. The 6th Battalion's holding on. On the right, the Americans completely vacated their lines, as you can see here. But I think after some failed assaults and some night attacks, the Germans, I think, got a little gun shy. So even though there's nothing there, the Bischoff, I think it was Bischoff, was mostly defensive. There's some attacks here which didn't go well, so he'd fall back to his defenses and hold. So he held the Belleau wood in the left flank, but maybe a missed opportunity because there's nothing defending some kind of sweeping movement there. Lots of fighting in the center, back and forth, but neither side could gain a purchase or hold. This really wasn't the Battle of Belleau Wood. In this case, it was the battle, probably called the Battle of Saint Martin Wood, or maybe even Champollion. There wasn't as much fighting in Belleau Wood in this alternate history. In the end, in Champollion, so let's see, the 300. Well, actually, I don't know who was there. There's a couple. I guess it's the 193rd held Champollion for a while. The Americans basically brought a whole brigade, or maybe their whole division, I guess, by the end, and bombarded Champollion for 2 days, and then finally attacked. The Germans held in the city longer than they should have. They got some really lucky dice rolls, but this last turn it was just basically overwhelmed, so they got surrounded, and they rivaled the 6 Marines from the north. Meant that a lot of them got cut off and captured, including Ludendorff, which is why we're calling it American victory. Um, Besides that, I think first of all, I was actually happier than it went better than I thought it would, rule wise and game wise. I was really happy with how things went and the rules that I had for it. I think both sides could have done a lot better communicating and coordinating. In World War One, it's not easy, but to be successful, you've got to kind of coordinate your artillery with your infantry. You want to maybe barrage for a half a day or a day before you attack, and use that artillery barrage to support the attack. And you want to mass that infantry, timing that with the artillery. The Americans were the umpires were saying they're almost psychic with their predictions for their artillery. They did really good artillery targeting, which really helped them. The Germans weren't as lucky. A lot of their artillery shots were just missing and either not hitting units that weren't engaged by infantry, or just missing entirely. So most of the German artillery fire was misspent. And then generally, I think there was a lot of missed opportunities in communication. For example, the 6th attack up here was really unsupported. And so, Germans had people here that could have hit them much earlier. Had they had a coordinated attack, they could have even possibly surrounded 6 and absolutely destroyed them. Where else were there? Oh yeah, and I mentioned how this was completely open, and there could have been advantages taken there. On the American side, it took a while. Took a while to get to protect the artillery, and if it weren't for the 6th making aggressive attacks, there wasn't a lot going on there. So I'm curious to hear other umpires' thoughts and players' thoughts. I'll stop talking. Overall, I'm really happy with the game and how people played, and went better than I thought. So let's see.
I have 2 questions real quick, or 1 question, I should say. The afternoon for this is U.S. artillery. For the afternoon of the first day, I heard a large detonation. Was that one of my artilleries destroying one of the German artilleries?
I don't.
Yup. One of ours got hit. You didn't destroy it, but it took a little bit of damage.
Yeah, I waited like a day, and then I told them that the front line reports like a large cloud of smoke from Belleau.
Okay. Yeah,
I got a couple comments.
You got lucky.
If-
Well, it's not your turn yet. Just wait.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, one of your initial targetings was, even though you didn't know, was like spot on to hit their artillery, which was funny. So okay, let's hear from the umpires. So umpire Jaco first.
Yes, so I was covering Malone for the entire game. Really, I'm just surprised nothing happened on the east side of the map for like the entire time. It was literally just that first night attack on the first day, and then just gone. There was nothing. I think that's really all I thought about adding.
Okay. Prozan.
Oh yeah, so I had Upton and Bundy and Lewis briefly on the American side. I thought that the Americans were. I mean, they won the battle, so can't complain too much. But if I had some feedback, I would say that they were very slow to act and very conservative, especially when you're taking such big risks. Like if you're going to empty out the right, or do like an early attack with like the 6th and 5th Marines to try to break through, you just need to commit to the bit and and not play so conservative with the rest of the army. But you won in the end, so what do I know? I thought Upton did a very good job of sacrificing his 1st battalion in the early start points of the game. He sent it immediately to go to protect the artillery, and he basically never saw it again. And he held the center for the rest of the game against Bischoff's and other commanders' frontal charges to try to break through the bocage. Gundy, as was said earlier, was pretty psychic with a lot of his artillery bombardments. I do think Gun D, that while your artillery was mostly good, you bombarded Champollion for a long time without assaulting it, and it was very easy to take for a lot longer before you attacked. But it worked out in the end because the 6th Marine was able to free up. I did not have the 6th Marine commander, but Neville should, or not Neville, was it Catlin should have the Medal of Honor. That was amazing watching the 6th Marine do what they did. Yeah, great game. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Umpire Slock.
So I had Bischoff and Conta over here. So Conta was in Belleau Wood, and Bischoff was defending the eastern flank. Two things that I'll note there is I'll give kudos to Bischoff for following his commander's orders to the letters, that he was to hold this area at all costs. And despite multiple reports of absolutely nothing happening in this sector of the line, there was a small Allied attack that was beaten back. But despite receiving a lot of reports that everything was quiet and those men were unnerved by the lack of rifle fire and skirmishing, he did not attack here. And I think that might have been a turning point, that when he did decide to attack, it was here at Lucy-le-Bocage, which did not go very well, especially at that point the German artillery was not supporting him. With Conta, his assault, he was more or less engaged. I think he did a good job at understanding World War I mindset, with the infantry that did attack him dig in, hold in during the night, and then attack during the mornings. And I think where the turning point in the game was for him, he launched his initial attack against the main Allied trench line, and instead of launching it against the 6th Marines up here in the north. And one other note about the German artillery, it seemed they were using kind of more World War II rules with artillery and firing at... They were almost chasing the American positions. So almost every time a German artillery barrage came in, it wasn't in support of a German attack. It was just trying to shell the latest known American positions. So I think that was a deciding factor with how the artillery was used. But overall, I think the players did a good job at grasping the doctrine of the time, and I think this was a pretty good game. It turned out pretty darn good.
Thank you. XTX.
I don't want to be too harsh, but I do definitely have some, some criticism, some tips for the German side and the American side, which I think is, the purpose of the after action report. We all want to get better, right? That's the entire point of the AAR. I think the American player. I remember reading a message in the planning channel about how attacking with no reserves was a very, very bad idea. And I kept thinking about that each time I thought about how easy it would be for the Germans to, basically win immediately after that initial attack failed. They seized Champollion without any resistance. They knocked out one of 3 artillery guns, and had the guys in the east gone forward, they would have captured the trenches unopposed. In which case, the Germans would control 2 out of 3 parts of the American trench, and the Americans would be pinned in and just kind of picked off, as they were very disorganized compared to the Germans in the center there. But then they played very well in the later half of the game, I have to say. No complaints there. They obviously won in the end, so good job. For the Germans, after you took Champollion, the commander there kind of kept butting his head into the American lines and just becoming more and more disorganized until he was forced to kind of just sit there and wait to die. I think the Germans should have committed more to Champollion and less to these kind of weird, vague probing attacks in the east that didn't go anywhere earlier. The German commander kept the artillery. I don't think the Germans hit their intended target once in the entire game until the very end, and that was because he was looking directly at what he wanted to hit. Which I think is just an issue of communication. Nobody really seemed to know where anyone else was at any given point. And yeah, the Germans had a definite lack of coordination throughout the entire game, which cost them the game, as we saw. My biggest criticism, actually, though, this is the last thing. After the Americans left, they were threatening Belleau. You had just seen a single German defender get overwhelmed and pushed completely out of the trenches, almost all the way back to Belleau. and immediately you do the exact same thing. You put the German infantry alone in the exact same trench, right where the Americans were just attacking, and then leave them there. I would say don't do that in the future. Don't repeat your mistakes. I'm not trying to be harsh. The German CSC was a new player, so I think he did the best he could. And these are very valuable lessons for future games, I think.
Yeah, thank you. All right, now we'll hear from all the players. I'm just going to go down the list. So, Bundy, you get your chance. What would you like to
Yeah.
share?
So, in just some of the points that I kind of want to talk about that some of the umpires brought up in regards to bombarding Champlain for like 2 turns. I got one of my screenshots showed a sizable regiment in there, and I didn't have the forces to take it right away, which is why I pinned them with artillery for so many turns and didn't assault them. Is because I wanted to go for the whole. I was being greedy. I wanted to go for the whole enchilada, which is why I tried to bring the 6th down to go and encircle them and force a surrender. I didn't know Ludendorff was there. That's just a happy little accident. But yeah, I think overall, like I made a lot of risks, especially with leaving that area completely exposed to begin with. I wasn't expecting an attack in the exact same spot I launched an attack, so it just something that caught me off guard. But overall, I think all my commanders did a great job with kind of exercising their own initiative and then being able to support each other when something happened. Prop to the 1st Battalion of the 9th Infantry, they kind of held their own for like 4 turns by themselves. So
All right, thank
that's all I got.
All right, Upton.
Okay, so like I'm in the planning. I was told initially to just try to take Belleau and like while my allies kind of went up through the left, to basically just act as a sort of anchor and try to hold on for as long as possible. And I saw the battle situation. It went favorably at first, but then I got the notification of, that I had to send a 9th immediately because it seemed that they did a surprise attack on, on our artillery. So I sent that away immediately. And I held there for a while, but then I saw that, like, the 2nd Battalion had a risk of being outflanked. So I retreated back to the original line and then like I just tried to kind of wait for the opportunity. I sent my HQ for a moment, like to the main battlefield near Champollion to kind of discuss what's going on. It seemed that things were favorable, so I went back to act as an anchor in case they went south. Because that was one of the main threats. Like if they went south and tried to take Bocage from the south. It seems that they did try to take Bocage, like in a last-ditch attempt, like from what I saw, like but it seems that it was held off. So, like just before the game ended, I was about to have my 2 battalions turn north to help the Marines, but then the game ended. I think things went reasonably well, though I think I could have, showed a bit more initiative, other than sending my first battalion to help out ASAP. I'm trying to figure out how I could have used those other 2 battalions more efficiently.
All right, Malone.
My initial orders were to attack on the first night. I have done that, failed, and as well followed the orders to fall back to artillery. And just so happened I was just right in time to basically support the left. After that, I have basically split my units between the people who were fighting on the front, so there wouldn't be unnecessary confusion. And well, basically was left commanding 1 battalion with Upton. That's it. Gave it. Yeah.
All right, thank you, Catlin.
To start off with, I disagreed with my CIC's plan and my acting brigade commander's plan, which was to have no reserves, launch all 6 Marine battalions across the trenches, and I think my regiment paid the most for it. After that, we headed northwest into the woods, and I was able to drive off the German battalions in front of me and take over the trenches. By that point, I think I got a dispatch from Neville, the other Marine commander, to send some forces down south because there was heavy fighting going on there. And considering the front the front was stabilized around the trenches, I figured might as well hit the rear of the Germans at Champollion, and I suppose that worked for us in the end.
Dane, Colonel Dane. You with this thing, Bart? Looks like you're trying to talk, but I'm hearing nothing. Okay. I still can't hear you. Alright. We'll come back to him. Colonel Conta.
He's back.
Any better, Langbart? I guess your mic's not working or something.
Yeah. All right. I'll go then.
Go ahead.
So overall, yeah, I had a lot of fun. The front, I was in the northern part of Belleau Wood. So we were going to push up from Hill 142, and then the 9th just appeared in front of us, and it was nice. It was a fun little back and forth, digging in trenches, shooting each other, all good stuff. Then at night, the 9th pulled a Gallipoli and just dipped. That was also pretty interesting, pretty fun. From there, I sent one of my battalions south and gave him to Bischoff, and then I took the other two and went to attack the the corner by St. Martin of the enemy trench line. Yep, and then saw that the 6th were attacking our main line, basically broke it and went up there, got chased, and that's how we see where it is right now. So overall, I had a lot of fun. I think main lessons would be probably just communication, because I didn't know anything about what was happening in the West. Well, I knew that we Champollion. I didn't know that we were losing it. I didn't know that the 6th was moving up. Till one turn before this, and then this is what happened. This resulted in me knowing that moving up. So yeah, overall pretty good. My one kind of complaint is that I felt like I would get dispatches for the turn after I'd already given my orders.
We'll have to find
So like I would do my orders in like 3 minutes or 4 minutes, and then 2 minutes or 3 minutes later I'd get the dispatches for that turn.
Oh, okay. That's good feedback.
Okay.
Oh, there he is.
Can
Langbart.
everybody hear me now?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, then I would like to take my turn now. Well, I was a commander of the 193. I was probably the most effective German player. I captured Champollion right at the beginning, took one artillery piece, and then I tried to pin down the Americans and maybe break through to the other artillery guns, in the hopes that they didn't send a lot of reinforcements to defend it. And well, one of my battalions was basically holding off the attack northwards. I tried to communicate to all the other commanders that I'm really engaged on the side, that they should make something happen, or that I would like support for my one guy that is forced to fall back to the starting position. But that was either misunderstood or not received, or well, in the end, those broke, and my other 2 battalions was basically spent, like day 2 or 3. And well, they hunkered down in Champollion, and they were somewhat effective still because they bound a lot of American force down there. That was a lot of units and battalions that were not doing anything more productive than capturing 2 German battalions. But well, the attack of the Marines really broke my last battalion, and then the flank was basically open. But the game itself was good. I had the same problem with dispatches sometimes, but yeah, things happen.
All right. Thank you, Langbart. Ludendorff.
Hey. Couple
comments, mainly involving the Marines, because I went back and looked through my dispatches and my screenshots, and I completely misunderstood where the Marines were attacking to begin with. So when I placed that unit back in that position, I had no idea that like 6 battalions was jumping down their throat. I don't know how I missed that, whether it got buried in the dispatches or something, but I had a very different idea in my head on how the battle was developing, and thus in my head, because I didn't know that this many Marines were charging this location, I still thought that there was units along the trench line in the east. Hence the reason why props to Bischoff. You did follow my orders. I apologize that you probably had some pretty good opportunities there to take advantage of the situation, but c'est la vie. In terms of the Champion, yeah, I probably should have sent reinforcements to Champion a bit earlier. The reserves kind of got tied up, as when Champion was successful, I tried and I wanted to break through to them through the forest of St. Martin, the southern end of it. Hence the reason why I concentrated a lot of artillery there and had asked the what are they called? Contest troops to break through alongside one of the reserve battalions and the 460th, but that didn't bear any fruit, apparently. A question in terms of artillery, because I was trying to do preparatory bombardments, so how was I misusing it there? Was I just missing all the time, or was was the timing just off?
I think and sometimes timing, sometimes missing. I mean, some of it did hit and have an impact, but it was a lot more missing than hitting.
I saw you. I think I saw you hit twice, and then, or maybe once, and then like once or twice, you were behind a turn. Basically, like after the guys had left, you hit them.
Flipping in lag.
Yeah.
Other than that,
one of the times that you hit was because it was the very first turn, and like the Americans were attacking very, very close to you. So we kind of assumed that the artillery would have been able to be rerouted in time, but after that we stopped being nice.
Fair enough. Yeah, as far as like my biggest mistake, yeah, I should have communicated a lot better in more detail and pretty much every turn in terms of what was going on to ensure that everyone had an idea of what was going on. Yeah, this was my first time being a CIC ever to begin with, and a live game, so it was a lot more hectic and more difficult to keep an idea of what was going on in the battlefield than I thought. Like I thought the Marines were attacking in a slightly different direction, / that they weren't attacking in that position for such an extended period of time. But yeah,
it's the beauty of Kriegsspiel.
Yeah, you did good.
Good job for your first time CICing. All right, Squire's listening in. Biscoff.
So pretty much I was defensive. I was given orders to defend that front, and I am a good soldier and I follow the order to a T. At the very end, I saw some opportunities and I took a gamble and was like, I've not sensed any probing attacks minus the one that happened on the first night. And I decided, you know what, I'm going to take some initiative to see if I could try to draw some forces towards me, because I was at that point I was like, something's off. That why have I not been attacked again? And I'm hearing all of this in the north, so I'm like, let me try something. So I did try to attack, which was our objective, Lucy, I can't pronounce the last part, Bocage. And I tried to launch there. I launched 2 attacks. Both did not bear fruit, but I wanted to at least try something. I didn't want to feel like I was just not doing anything for the team, even though I was defending our flank just in case of a probable attack. But yeah, pretty much I enjoyed the game. I do agree with my other with how everybody's communication kind of was a little off, but I think I followed the orders that I was given, and I hoped I did the part that I should have. That's pretty much it.
All right. Neville, 5th Marines.
I think I had 2 highlights this game that I really enjoyed. One was getting to chill with Lewis in the woods for the first couple days. That was unexpected. He was a lot of fun to be around. The second was watching Catlin play. Like, I think from the beginning we had this original plan of attacking, and I really appreciated his critique from the very beginning. And I loved the fact when he took initiative when our first attack through towards the north to Valois didn't go as expected. So as we pushed out and ran into the German fire, we decided to try to go to the northwest. At that point, I got a couple dispatches saying, hey, there's an attack going on Chaplon, lost artillery, I heard fighting to the east, and giving Catlin the initiative to make his decisions of continuing to the north, and seeing now how that bared fruit, I think is awesome. Also seeing how the dispatches I sent through with him, hey, if you need to fall back, support Champollion, how he in his own initiative again was able to hang on to those trenches as long as he could while making sure we encircled the Germans in Champollion. So, dude, the 6 did some work tonight, and I think that was a lot of fun to watch. But overall, man, I love Kriegsspiel. This is like my second live game, and all the confusion and everything that comes along with it. It's a good time.
Nice. All right, thank you. I think that's everyone. So I'm gonna end the recording here. Thanks everyone for joining us. Next week we'll be in Cuba, and you're welcome to hang out and keep talking. But that's where we'll end it. Thank you.
Sounds good.